saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Friends, let us all study, investigate, and practice the real words of the Buddha. Tonight, our topic is what is impermanent? What is impermanent? This is the talk number 50, 50th tonight. This talk is based on the name of the discourse is Impermanent. Connected Discourse, chapter number 22, the discourse number 12, 12.1. So let's understand what is impermanent. Impermanent, whenever we talk about impermanent, it is crystal clear to all of us. Things are permanently impermanent. Permanently impermanent means changing. Everything, animate or inanimate, everything under the sun and moon, including the sun and moon, everything is changing. The teaching of the Buddha is to be realized, to be understood and realized by the wise ones, within, not outside. Whatever things outside, things are changing, that's true. Though we have to understand the Dhamma within ourselves, within the 6 sense bases. When the Buddha taught us what is called birth, our birth, all beings are born with 5 aggregates, and humans and animals are born with 6 senses. Humans and animals. Other beings, so they are born, that is what is called manifestation. So beings are, with our birth, we obtain 6 senses and 5 aggregates are manifesting. Manifesting means not born. Manifesting means since they are mental. Manifestation is when there are necessary conditions, things come to be. That is what is called manifestation. Like deities, they are not born. The Brahmas, hungry ghost, beings in the hells, they are not born. They are manifesting because of the conditions. So, whatever beings, whatever things, all things are ever changing. That is what is called impermanence. But we have to understand impermanence within. Only then we can understand, we can realize the Dhamma, sublime Dhamma, and we can realize real peace, real happiness of the highest bliss, Nibbana. If we can realize Nibbana, if we can understand what we call this impermanence, observing, understanding the external things. Now today, the quantum physicists are the enlightened ones, because they know better the change in nature of things. However much you see the change in nature of things externally, you cannot understand, you cannot cut off your defilements and attain full bliss, Nibbana. That is why we have to understand, we have to observe within. That is what is called introspection. You have to have that introspection. You have to observe yourself, your own thoughts. You have to understand the five aggregates affected by clinging. With that realization, you can understand the Four Noble Truths, dependent origination, and the three characteristics of existence. Okay, let's come to the discourse. We are going to use different short discourses tonight. Let's come to this first one, which is impermanent, the discourse of impermanent. Thus have I heard. This is what I heard. That is what Venerable Ananda said at the first council. While the Buddha was dwelling at Savatthi, this short discourse was delivered. There the Blessed One said this. Bhikkhus, that is the way that the Buddha addressed the monks. Bhikkhus, form is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, volitional formations are impermanent, consciousness is impermanent. That is what you to understand as impermanence, not external things, not what you have at home, not what you have in your kitchen, not your car, not your bag, not your iPhone, whatever, external stuff, whatever. Those are changing. That is not what you call real impermanent. Impermanent is to be understood within, not external things. So, Buddha clearly said how to understand this. What is to be understood as impermanent? The form is to be understood as impermanent. The feeling, the perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. These are called five aggregates. Where are they? Some people misunderstandingly say that this body, what you call this kaya, body, this body is the what you call five aggregates. This body is five aggregates. That is why they say that leaving behind these five aggregates, we go to the next life, which is incorrect. Form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. These are arising and passing all the time, constantly, continuously, instantaneously, in the six sense bases. That is the way, that is the thing to be contemplated upon and to be understood clearly by the wise ones. This Dhamma, this sublime Dhamma is for the wise. Buddha clearly said this. So the Buddha then further said, the results of observing these five aggregates affected by clinging. Whenever you observe, whenever you understand these five aggregates, what would happen? What are the results? The Buddha says, seeing thus, bhikkhus, the instructed noble disciple, who is that? That's you. We are the noble disciples, instructed noble disciples. Because we follow the Dhamma, we can understand the Dhamma. Now we know the Dhamma, we can experience this Dhamma. One day, we can experience what? Experience revulsion. Revulsion means disenchantment. One day, soon, we can understand the nature of disenchantment. So that what is called revulsion here. I prefer the term disenchantment. You are not enchanted. So when you observe these five aggregates affected by clinging, five aggregates are not a problem. When the five aggregates are affected by clinging is the problem. The noble disciple, instructed noble disciples, experiences revulsion towards form. You are not enchanted with form. That is what is called revulsion. Not enchanting. That is what is disenchanted. Revulsion towards form, revulsion towards feeling, revulsion towards perception, revulsion towards volitional formations, revulsion towards consciousness, revulsion, disenchant. You don't grasp, that is the meaning. You don't grasp this. If you grasp this, if you cling to this, that is what is called five aggregates subject to clinging, affected by clinging. If you do not cling to these five aggregates, you are not bound to samsara. You are bound to samsara with these five aggregates affected by clinging. Then experience in revulsion, what happens? What would happen? Experience in revulsion, he becomes dispassionate. This is the best Dhamma, dispassionate. Once the Buddha said, of all conditioned or unconditioned things, all conditioned or unconditioned things. What are the conditioned things? All things are conditioned. Of all conditioned things, Buddha said, the noble eightfold path is the best. Of all conditioned or unconditioned things, dispassionate is the best. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said this. Here we have the stanza from the Dhammapada. Buddha said, of all paths, the Eightfold Path is the best. Of all truths, the Four Noble Truths are the best. Of all things, of all Dhamma, things means all Dhamma, passionlessness, that is dispassion. Passionlessness is the best. Of all humans, the seen one, the Buddha, is the best. That is what the Buddha said in the Dhammapada. Through dispassion, what happens? If you have dispassion, viraga, the Pali term is viraga, dispassion. Through dispassion, his mind is liberated. His mind is liberated, not he is liberated. Nobody is liberating. Mind is liberating. That is why it is said, his mind is liberated. When the mind is liberated, he or she realizes that it is liberated. What is liberated? Not I am liberated. Not I am liberated, but my mind is liberated. My mind is liberated. Mind is liberated, not the person. It is true that the mind is within a person, but we have to understand, not me, but mind. Mind is liberated. Liberated from what? Liberated from all defilements, all kilesa, all taints, whatever taints, whatever impurities. That is what is called purification of mind. When it is liberated, there comes the knowledge. It is liberated. That is the knowledge. It is liberated. That is the knowledge. He then understands, destroyed is birth. Destroyed is birth. No more birth to him or her. The holy life has been lived. Holy life means the Noble Eightfold Path. He has followed the Noble Eightfold Path. What had to be done has been done. Done what had to be done. There is no more for this state of being. That is the realization. That is a short discourse. Now let's come to another short discourse to understand a little bit more about impermanent. Once Venerable Radha went to the Buddha and said, Venerable Sir, it is said impermanent. What now, Venerable Sir, is impermanent? What is impermanent, sir? Yes, the Buddha said again the same thing. Buddha talked impermanent, not things outside, but inside. What are the things to be understood as impermanent? Form is impermanent. Feeling is impermanent. Perception is impermanent. Volitional formations are impermanent. And consciousness is impermanent. That is the way. Those are the things to be understood as impermanent. So impermanent is within your eyes, within your ears, within your nose, within your tongue, within your body, and within your mind. So if you observe your thoughts, you can understand this form is impermanent. Whatever form comes to your mind is impermanent. Whatever feeling, what you take in as the form is what you feel. What you feel is what that you perceive. What you perceive is you volitionally formed. That is what is called volitional formation. Volitional formation. All these are detected by your consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. We have 6 classes of consciousness. When the mind is connected to these different places, that name is taken. When the mind is connected to eye, it is called eye consciousness. When the mind is connected to ear, it is called ear consciousness. When the mind is connected to nose, it is called nose consciousness. When the mind is connected to tongue, it is called tongue consciousness. When the mind is connected to body, it is called body consciousness. When the mind is connected to the mind, it is called mind consciousness. This is the way. This is the way to understand. So when you observe, when you understand impermanence in these 5 aggregates, further you can understand, you can realize the Dhamma. How can you realize the Dhamma? Here the Buddha says, because, another short discourse, because form is impermanent. What is impermanent is suffering. What is impermanent is suffering. Whatever is impermanent, it is suffering. If you grasp it, it is suffering. So what is impermanent? Form is impermanent. Then what is suffering? Form is suffering. What is suffering is non-self. You see? What is impermanent is suffering. What is suffering is non-self. No self. No soul. No permanent thing. No permanent entity. Whatever is suffering, there you don't see something permanent, something substance, nothing. What is non-self should be seen as it really is, with correct wisdom. Impermanent, friends. Impermanent should be understood, should be seen not through your eyes, but through your properly developed wisdom. Yada panyaya passati. Panyaya passati means you have to see through your wisdom, not through your eyes. Through your eyes you cannot see what is called impermanent. Impermanence is to be seen through your wisdom. Whatever, Buddha here says, whatever is impermanent, it is suffering. Whatever is suffering, it is non-self. Whatever is non-self should be seen it as it really is. Really is. What is real? Really is, with correct wisdom, with proper wisdom, developed wisdom. How to see? You to see this is not mine. Normally, generally what happens, we grasp it as this is mine, this I am, this is myself. That is normally what happens to the worldlings, worldly people. That is what happens. But if you see him correctly, with correct wisdom, with proper wisdom, you see things as not mine, this is not mine, this I'm not, this is not myself. Friends, that is the proper way to see. That is the correct way to see things as not mine, not me, not myself. So what is to be seen in this manner? The form. Form from where? Form through the eyes, to the ears, to the nose, to the tongue, to the body, and through the mind. Not only form. Buddha says, feeling is impermanent. Likewise, perception is impermanent. Volitional formations are impermanent. Consciousness is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent is suffering. What is impermanent, what is suffering is non-self, not self. What is non-self should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom. Thus, this is not mine. If you grasp, this is mine, that is normally happens. That is how you flow in the stream, floating in the stream, going downwards. But Buddhism, the teaching of the Buddha is to go upper stream, swim against the current. Then you see things as not mine. This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. That is the way to see things as they really are. When one sees this in this manner, what would happen? Seeing thus, he understands. He understands things as they really are. Then he understands that there is nothing more to do. Nothing more to do. He understands clearly, destroy is birth, the holy life has been lived, and what had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being. That is the realization. That is his realization. So that's the way to understand. So friends, impermanent is to be seen as what are the things to be understood as impermanent. Buddha said clearly, these five aggregates are to be seen as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. That is one thing. In the Dhammapada, Buddha said how to see impermanent. Buddha said all volitional formations are impermanent. All volitional formations. We volitionally form different things. All volitional formations are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. That is in short. In short, the Buddha taught us the path to purification, path to enlightenment. What is that path? all volitional formations are impermanent. See things. See these volitional formations as impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path. This is the way. Now, you have to understand what these volitional formations are. Volitional formations. What are the volitional formations? There are two categories of volitional formations. We do things volitionally. We have wholesome deeds. We are doing wholesome deed, good deeds, what you call punya. We volitionally formed wholesome deeds, which are called wholesome volitional formations. That is one kind of volitional formations. Punyabhi sankara in Pali. Then we form unwholesome volitional formations. Unwholesome, apunyabhi sankara in Pali. Then we perform jhana, we practice jhana, meditation. That is one category of volitional formations. So what are the three? Volitionally wholesome formations. Volitionally unwholesome formations. Then Jhanic results. Ecstasis, Jhanic results. Those three are one category. And the second category, volitional formations, the second category, there are three types of volitional formations. What are the three? Bodily formations, verbal formations, and mental formations. Bodily formations are breath, what you call bodily formations. Whatever bodily formation means, breath. In breath and out breath is called formations. Then thinking and examining are called thinking and examining are called verbal formations. Then feeling and perception are called mental formations. Bodily formations, verbal formations, and mental formations. So what are the formations that are to be cut off, to be removed? When the Buddha said all formations, what are all formations? Friends, all formations, according to the teaching of the Buddha, all formations to be cut off are these volitional formations. What are those things? Volitional formations of whatever the wholesome punyabhi sankhara. Then volitionally unwholesome apunyabhi sankhara and Jhanic results. These are to be cut off for the attainment of enlightenment. Under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha did not cut off his breath. Buddha did not cut off his verbal formations. Buddha did not cut off his mental formations. Buddha cut off all these wholesome volitional formation, unwholesome volitional formations, and Jhanic results. With that, the Buddha attained real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. The Buddha became the Buddha of our era. So, we have to understand the impermanence. When the Buddha said all volitional formations are impermanent. So impermanent is to be understood within these volitional formations. Even whenever we go to the monks or nuns, go to a funeral, you must have heard the monks or nuns chant a stanza. Anicca-vata sankhara. They chant Anicca-vata sankhara. Uppada-vaya dhammino. Uppajjitva nirujjante. Tesang bhupasamo sukho. What is that? Anicca. Anicca is the Pali term for impermanent. Buddha said, certainly, all volitional formations are impermanent. Anicca vata sankhara. Uppada vaya dhammino. Their intrinsic nature is arising and passing, arising and perishing. That is their intrinsic nature. Uppajjitva nirujjanti. Having arisen, then they pass, then they perish. Tesang bhupasamo sukho. They are subsiding, their cessation is the bliss. That is what the Buddha said. So in this manner, friends, we have to understand clearly the impermanent, whatever impermanent, it is to be understood within, not outside. Within means within the 6 sense bases. Buddha taught us to understand this I as impermanent. Forms, whatever forms come to your mind, form is impermanent. Your consciousness is impermanent. The meeting of the three is called contact. Contact is impermanent. It is because of contact feeling arises. Feeling is impermanent. It is because of feeling craving arises. Craving arises. Craving is impermanent. That is the best thing. That is the most important thing to understand. This craving is impermanent. If you can cut off craving, no more sorrow, no more suffering. Because all suffering, whatever suffering, they all arise because of craving, because of desire, because of lust, because of delight. These are some shades of craving, shades of meanings of the same thing, craving. Craving is the cause of suffering, friends. craving is to be cut off. In order to cut this off, we have to observe mindfully with wise attention. We have to observe this. Whenever craving arises, where? In the eye, in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, and in the mind. You have to understand this craving, this desire, this lust, this delight is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent, it is suffering. Whatever is impermanent and suffering is non-self. No self. This is not mine, not me, not myself. Cut it off. Let it go. Do not cling to these 5 aggregates. Affected. If we cling, they are affected, they become the bond. That is how we are bound to samsara. This teaching, this wonderful teaching is not to go to samsara, but to stop samsaric journey here in this very world. Friends, let's understand this wonderful teaching of the Buddha. Let's practice this Dhamma, sublime Dhamma, and try to understand this Dhamma within. If we can understand this one thing, what is one thing? Impermanence. If we can understand what is impermanent, we can understand what is suffering and what is non-self. 3 characteristics of existence. If we can understand 3 characteristics of existence, we can understand the central teaching, the 4 noble truths, and the dependent origination as well. In such a way, we can understand the whole teaching of the Buddha within. We can realize this whole Dhamma within. With that, we can attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May we all realize that real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.